message for anyone who stumbles across it. We have an energy of overthinking here. We have an energy of mulling over connections and wondering where the tribe is, where the people are, and where you will feel accepted, supported, seen, and loved. There's a sense of this yearning that I'm picking up on, and this desire to have more, and this almost like wishing and waiting and praying that it's going to happen. And this very much feels like the coming together of community and the alignment of soul family that I'm tapping into. So if you are someone who has pretty much had to move through life alone or experience life insular or solo, there's a message of opening up to the possibilities and opening up to see actually who is around you and who are the people that you might be not necessarily investing as much time or investing it as much love into, to see if they are possibilities to open up a reconnection to. There's very much a sense of people coming together, and it feels quite a joyous energy, but it's the joyous energy that's coming in that we're perhaps not open to, but it's very much like on the other side of the door is what I'm feeling. So we've got the experiencing card, we've got the friendliness card, and the celebration card. What I love about all of these cards is there's an element of tapping into nature, tapping into nature as a reserve, and tapping into nature to see how that can also be a source of support or a source of sustenance, is what I'm feeling. With the experiencing card, there's almost like a sense of hollowness, in a sense of disconnection and not really knowing where to turn to, which I believe relates to the thinker card. And it very much feels like there's just way too much going on in the mental space, way too much going on in the head. But what we need to do is to see the physicality of our experience with all the reds and the oranges and the yellows. This very much feels like it's connected to our earthly experience. So this also might be a message for you if you're someone who's more in the spiritual esoteric realms, to drop back down for a minute and to drop into connection for a minute, and connection in the human sense rather than constantly working on meditation, working on connecting with your guides. This is like an invitation for you to remember that you're a human person just for a moment and come back into your human experience, because there's something on the other side where actually allowing ourselves to have these human experiences is what opens up a different aspect of our spirituality if we're able to combine and fuse our physical experience with our spiritual experience. So there's something here about it really being on the other side of the door, it really being open to us, as long as we kind of use the gift of connection and communication, because these are both air cards. There's very much a sense of needing to connect to the ways that we connect to people. You might even be connecting with people online this week, and that's okay. And I think it's also about acknowledging that those forms of communication can fuse our connection. So let's get into tarot for all 12 signs. We're going to start with Aquarius because I'm recording this in Aquarius season. So, Four of Swords for Aquarius. So there's a lot of overthinking this week, Aquarius. You might be experiencing some sleep disturbances. You might be overthinking. There's a sense of, I'm seeing like a notepad by your bed as the advice for you to, before you go to bed, just to note down your thoughts, whether it's positive, neutral, or negative. It doesn't matter. It just needs a space to go into, because I feel like there's a lot of internal work and a lot of internal processing that's happening, that's actually taking you away from the experience of life. So this week, Aquarius, or whenever you stumble upon this, it's your invitation to really purge your thoughts, get them out, whether you voice note, whether you write them down, because they don't need to be trapped in there, okay? So let's get into Pisces. A card for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising. We have the Four of Wands, Pisces. Which is such a lovely card. There's like a real heartfelt connection that's happening this week, Pisces, or whenever you stumble across this, you will be feeling more connected to your children, your animals, your home environment. There's a real sense of you wanting to create roots when you stumble upon this. You might be more invested in your home environment and making it feel luxurious, your family, and making sure that you all have points in time where you connect. There's a real deepening that's happening to get together this week, Pisces, but there's also like a confirmation or a reaffirmation of an established connection. It could be a new connection where you're almost like deepening. I'm seeing two contracts coming together here, Pisces, this week. So whenever you come across this, I would expect for a fusing to happen between you, your home, your partnership, your kids, your family, the lot. So that's some beautiful energy. Let's get into Aries. Let's see what's happening for Aries this week. So we have the Tower card, Aries, which is nothing to be feared. This is a point in time where you're shaking things up, Aries, and that's a good thing. You're deciding to shake things up. This very much feels like you taking action to do this, and it feels like you're jumping ship from one pattern, one behavior to another, one career to another, and this very much feels like you all of a sudden waking up and saying, actually, I have been not the best person to myself, not the kindest person to myself, not the most compassionate person to myself, and you're choosing to make a decision to act with love and act with kindness and make a change. It might feel quite drastic to other people, but for you it actually feels like quite a measured response, and that's okay. So remember your intention when you're making this change, this when you come across this, Aries, and anchor into that, and don't fall into the fear, okay? So let's get into Taurus. There's way too many cards. Okay, so Taurus, what's happening for Taurus this week? We have the World card. There's a shift in perspective that's happening. There's a shift in your internal and external that's happening this week, Taurus. It very much feels actually more balanced. You feel a bit more neutral, and you feel like there's a bit more equilibrium, but there's something that's shifting and there's something that's changing for you this week, and it feels like the change is happening externally and therefore it's affecting you internally. So there's something that's happening within your physical existence this week that is then creating a softening for you internally, and it very much feels like there's a relaxation that's happening. I'm feeling like your shoulders melting, and it's like, this change was needed, this change was expected, and it was highly anticipated. So enjoy that this week, Taurus. Let's get into Gemini. We have the Four of Pentacles here, Gemini. There's very much a sense of grabbing or grasping onto resources and feeling as though resources can't come to you quick enough, and when they do, there's like a loss of grip. It just feels very quick, to be honest, and it feels like you're almost having a moment of doubt, a moment of uncertainty when it comes to your resources. There's the reminder here that you've actually been giving too much, you've actually been pouring too much, and that's why the resources are literally just like melting through your fingers. So it's time to pull back a little bit, Gemini. It's time to reassess and redefine how much you're giving out and who you're giving out to, not in a horrible or negative way. It's just time to like pull back a little bit and like save some for you. Sometimes the Four of Pentacles is actually holding on too much, but I feel this is in the reverse for you this week. So yeah, just have a little think about that. So let's get into Cancer. We have the Sun card, Cancer, which is a beautiful energy. There's like a sense of like newness, a sense of making your inner child happy this week. You could be tapping into new hobbies, new experiences, new moments for you to make memories is what I'm feeling. and it very much feels like a lighter energy, and as though you're having a bit more creativity, a bit more fun, and this is really springboarding you into a sense of feeling more vibrant and looking more vibrant. People are going to be looking at you as if you're glowing this week, Cancer. So enjoy making your inner child happy whenever you stumble upon this, and yeah, maintain that energy. It's a good piece of energy. Okay, let's get into Leo. Okay. So we have the Hermit card, Leo. There's something about you that's withdrawing from communication this week. You may not be as expressive this week. You may not be as communicative this week. There's a bit of a slowness that I feel with your energy, Leo, and it might be unfamiliar to you, as ordinarily you might be a bit more front and center stage, but it's okay. And I feel like this week it's more just an opportunity for you to take a break and for you to just like re-up and recharge. So I'm seeing like a battery like literally like filling up again. So it's temporary and you will regain your energy, but allow yourself to have that break. Okay, let's get into Virgo. Let's get into Virgo. Okay, so we have the King of Cups. There's like a well of emotions for you this week, Virgo, and you might be experiencing some undercurrents that you may be keeping quite private this week or whenever you hear this. And it's almost as if you're trying to temper your own emotions and trying to control your own emotions, but the reality is it's not changing your experience. I don't think you're afraid of the emotions, but perhaps there's a worry about how others may perceive you, receive you, or be able to trust you if you show how things are impacting or influencing you emotionally. The guidance is that people will be accepting of you, people will trust you. I think it will actually deepen bonds for you this week, Virgo, if you allow people to be with you in the boat of those emotions. So yeah, let people in this week. So Libra, we have the Hanged Man. Suspense. This person is literally suspended, but it almost feels as though you are keeping other people in suspense. There's something that you're not communicating, or there's something you're not deciding on this week, I feel. And it feels as though there's like a moment where people are like waited with bated breath for you to say something, but you just want to take your time this week, and I feel that that's okay. You're allowed to take your time, and I feel like you know that there's like a little piece of the information that you're missing, and there's like a little piece of the information that's just going to drop into your consciousness, that's going to allow you to take that step forward so that you're not keeping other people in suspense. So just like for this week, be okay and comfortable with keeping other people in suspense until you gain the missing piece of the puzzle, because it is coming. Okay, let's get into Scorpio. So we have the Three of Cups. So that kind of collective energy might be more related to you, Scorpio, this week, because the Three of Cups is like the celebration card that we had before. The Three of Cups is a moment to come into emotional connection, emotional deepening with other people this week. You might literally be celebrating, you might literally be going out for drinks, going out for meals and things like that, but there's like a significant milestone that's here for you and that wants to give you the opportunity to reflect back and see how far you've come. So be with the milestone this week and have a moment of reverence and celebration for it. And whatever it is, I feel happy about it, and I feel like it feels like a congratulatory energy. Okay, Sagittarius. So you've got the Four of Pentacles, similar to Gemini, I believe it was. So there's very much like a double focus this week here on your resources. There's a focus here on how resourceful you are, you can be. There's something about your time as well that's coming through, Sagittarius. So you might be looking at how you're spending your time. If your time is actually going to what you want, what you desire, and how to make things work for you is what I'm feeling. So there's very much an energy of trying to set the balance, reset the scale so that things are working for you, so that you're not overexhausting yourself, or just overexhausting. I feel this overexhausting energy with you, Sagittarius. Okay, so yeah, look into that this week and reset the balance. So Capricorn is our last one. We have the Knight of Wands, Capricorn. There's a fire. There's a fire that's been lit under you, and there's like this energy of get up and go. You might be feeling more creative, but this is a very different type of creativity. It feels more process driven. You might be literally changing the way your daily routine, or changing the systems that you use this week, but for you it feels like that's what's making you come alive this week. So you're very much being system logic driven this week, but you feel it's a creative buzz that's driving that, and that's okay. So there's an energy of like pushing you forward to rejig your whole setup, rejig your whole system, and ensure that things are flowing in a way that is sustainable and supportive. So that is all. That's all 12 messages, all 12 signs. I hope you enjoyed that. This is going out on YouTube and Patreon as like a freebie. My intention is to do this once a month for all to access, so that once a month you have an insight into what the Patreon members get weekly as an all 12 sign card breakdown. So yeah, I hope you have a beautiful experience whenever you stumble upon this message, and I'll speak to you soon.